Hello everybody, it is midday right now, and we got some decent cloud cover in here today. There's a clearing right now, but it's been mostly overcast for the better part of the day, so I'm actually going to get out and hike around a bit today and do some flipping, and then afterwards, once it gets dark, I think I'm going to do some road cruising too. But I figured I'd give you guys a break from all the road cruising since that's pretty much all I did in the last video. So anyways, first couple of pieces. It's it's midday right now, so this midday flipping is generally not terribly productive, but flipping has been so good recently that it's kind of hard to resist trying. Hopefully by the time I get to my next spot, I'm still at the house, but hopefully by the time I get to my next spot, it'll be later in the afternoon and stuff will have cooled down a bit. Oh my God. 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 I did not see it at first. That is a mole king snake. This is my second mole king snake of the month of May. Look at that eye. These things have the most incredible faces of any snake. God, I love them so much. I was not expecting that at all. I had just got out here. That half of the piece, I just moved this piece of tin too. This piece of tin used to be completely in the shade, but I recently moved it. No. And because it was so shaded, I didn't think it was gonna get snakes under it, so I moved it. So it's half in the sun, half in the shade, and sure enough, a couple weeks later, it produces its first snake. That is absolutely unbelievable. I still have the rest of it. This is, I don't know. I can't tell if this is a big female or a big male. I want to say it's a gravid female because of how fat she is, but that's a long looking tail. I'm not as good at sexing these guys as I am with Eastern Kings, but just God. What an amazing snake. So after looking at it a little more, I'm almost certain this is the same mole king that I found back in October. It almost has to be as big as it is. I've never seen one this big before. And this one looks to be a little bigger than the one I found in October. So it's probably the same one, and it's just grown a little bit. You can see he's got a little bit of a thing he's developed on top of his head there. And he's also, if you flip him over, you can see he's got some scarring on his belly, which leads me to believe that he just had a nice, well-deserved shed and shed off some of that nasty overwintering crud. But what an awesome snake. I cannot believe that thing was under that piece of tin. I'm gonna go flip the rest of the tin and see if there's anything else. And after that, I'm going to head to another spot where I was actually intending on herping today and flip tin there too. All right, guys, it is time to take this guy back and let him go under his piece of tin. I brought him over to this nice sunny area of the yard to take a couple pictures and flip the rest of the tin and see if there's anything else hanging out. All right, it's time to put this beautiful mole king snake back under his piece of tin and head out to the next spot and hopefully turn up some cool stuff over there. Look at that. Awesome. All right, let's flip the rest of this stuff. I recently some maintenance back here and cleared out some of this tin so it's not as shaded, because when it gets too shaded, snakes don't like to use it as much, but if it's too sunny, it gets too hot fast. So you gotta find balance. So that's what we attempted to do, was bring back the little bit of sun coming through on the ends of the pieces. This piece had a Eastern king snake under it. The last couple times I flipped it, you guys only saw it once because I didn't want to bother it too much, but I'm gonna flip it and see if he's still hanging out. She is not. Must have gotten scared off by the mole king. This one has been loaded with water snakes recently. So I'm assuming either the king snake has moved under here or there's still going to be water snakes. We'll see. Yep, water snake. That is the big guy / girl we saw earlier. So these are two little like plastic bin lids that the bins broke. So I brought them out here. And I guess this has probably only been here about a week, and the worm snake already hanging out on top of that leaf. It's hard to ask for better midday weather than this. Perfect cloud cover. It's about 82 degrees. 10 is a little hot right now, but everything else feels fine. There's a nice little surprise. Little Good looking eastern box turtle. Look at that eye. He very clearly just came out of that little hole he made right there. You'll know what I say about box turtles. I mean, it's good king snake weather. The first snake I've flipped under this. Big ringneck hanging out on top of the grass. It's kind of weird. So the main thing I'm hoping to see in this area is an eastern king snake. The first time I ever hunted here in the spring, I got one. And I have not seen one since, and it's kind of bumming me out. So that was last year that I got that snake. And I haven't seen one here since. It's not gonna happen under this piece of tin. Starting to worry that I exhausted my flipping luck early in the day. Hoping that is not the case though. If I don't see something in these, I might have to make a strategical reassessment. All right, if there's nothing in this stack, I'm gonna go road cruise. Oh, rat snake. See his tail right there. That is that same big guy that was in here last time. It's interesting. He has not moved. Guessing he just likes this tin stack. He's deep in shed now. Please don't bite me. Definitely exhausted my flipping luck early today. But a rat snake, it's better than nothing. This guy is really deep in shed. Please don't bite me. You can see his eyes. Super cloudy. So I'm just gonna put him back and probably go road cruise. Well, I had a really terrible start to my road cruising. I was driving down the paved highway to get to this dirt road I'm cruising now. And two cars in front of me kind of slowed down and looked like they were driving around something. And sure enough, there's a 3-foot eastern king snake in the road. And when I get up to it, I stop a little bit behind it, turn on my hazards, and the truck behind me passes it, like passes me without even really slowing down. Runs straight over the snake and leaves it with its guts hanging out in the road and me to deal with it. So really, really upsetting, terrible way to start road cruising tonight. And I'm really I'm not feeling it anymore, and I'm pissed off and bummed and just God, it sucks. But I have the snake. It's almost certainly gonna die. It'll become a museum specimen. There's not really anything you can do for snakes that have been run over by cars. They either live or they don't. But like I said, really terrible way to start the night. I'm hoping that things will get better from here, but I'll keep you guys posted. The main thing I'm hoping to see tonight, I'm in the habitat for the eastern coral snake here in central Georgia. So that's what I'm hoping to find, but I'm sure there's plenty of other cool stuff here I can turn up to. Oh my God. I cannot believe this is happening. First live snake of the night. That is the eastern coral snake in the Georgia Piedmont. Oh my God. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. Look at this snake. This is my first Georgia coral snake. And oh my God, it is so perfect. So perfect. That is amazing. So as you can see, this snake has no intentions of attacking me. They're just like any other venomous snake, but they're incredibly goofy. They're not very gamely. They have a hard time moving around. But oh my god, obviously the red is touching the yellow, kill a fellow. That's a subject of debate whether or not that rhyme's effective, but here in Georgia it is. And another good way to tell these guys apart from the scarlet king snake is they have that really round head, little round head with little beady eyes that are black. Just, oh my god, I cannot believe this happened. What an amazing snake. So where I found it, I was on a pretty busy road, so I moved to this dirt road. The sky's cleared up a little bit, the clouds kind of moved out, but it feels great out here. But I moved to this dirt road to give you guys a better look at this little coral. This is my first coral snake in the state of Georgia. Let's get him out on the ground for you guys. Just look at that animal. That is amazing. Absolutely incredible. These snakes are very secretive. They're not particularly rare in a lot of places, but they are very secretive. Very spastic little snakes. They're hard to use a snake hook on because of how tiny they are, and if you use tongs on them, you have a very real chance of hurting them. So they're one of the more difficult snakes for anyone to handle. But just goodness gracious, what a beautiful animal. And this is not what you'd think of as coral snake habitat. I mean, this looks pretty much just like my house. I mean, this is not terribly different. I'm only 1 or 2 counties away from where I live. But just look at that snake, absolutely incredible. I was so bummed out about that Eastern King, and I still am. I mean, this doesn't make that situation better, but it does make me feel a little better about coming out today. I was really bummed out for the longest time. Just driving along, trying to get out of my feelings and just stop being so upset about that king snake. And then this guy popped up in the road. Absolutely beautiful. What an incredible animal. Secretive, highly deadly if you get bitten. They don't really have an antivenom for these things. And because of coronavirus, what's going on right now with that, really the only thing they can do for you is put you on a ventilator, and all the ventilators are being used for coronavirus patients right now. So obviously I'm not going to get bit by this guy. That would be a very bad thing to have happen right now. So it is getting dark on me here. I'm gonna take some photos of this guy and probably call it a night, honestly, because there's not really much reason for me to keep driving around here. I got what I was looking for. So Eastern coral snake in the Georgia Piedmont. Absolutely incredible. All right, guys, so I'm currently cruising my way back home. That coral snake was the only thing I've seen alive so far. But, I mean, it literally, there's nothing better you can find here aside from maybe a pine snake, and I don't even know if those are in this area or not. But anyways, I bagged it up for the night. I'm gonna take it home and come back in the daytime when the, I'm gonna bring someone else with me, so I'm not wrangling that thing by myself, trying to get video and photos. And then I'm gonna let it go right back where I found it afterwards. But I will get some better video of it then to show you guys. So I will see you guys then. All right, guys, I am out here a little bit later with this coral snake, photographing, getting video, and releasing him. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit more information about this guy and why it is such a special snake. Because coral snakes in general are a fairly common species, but this snake was found in almost montane. I mean, it's quite literally on top of a mountain. But it's very strange habitat to be finding a species that's typically associated with pine flatwoods, swamps, and areas like that in the coastal plain. As you can see, he's just trying to bury because these snakes are incredibly secretive, and even where they are common, they can be difficult to find. But we are right here at the inlandmost extent of this species' range, as far as I know, anywhere. They go up into central Alabama a little bit in some similar habitat, but these snakes can be incredibly tough to find. As far as I know, I am the first person who has intentionally found one outside of the coastal plain. They're not a species that really anyone knows much about what they do. Look at them just popping out on that other end, or how they behave in this type of habitat. So this is a super special find. I was incredibly lucky to get it on the really so fast. I mean, I did put a lot of work into finding these guys, but really I was frankly surprised at how quickly this snake came. As you can see, all he wants to do is hide. These are probably, honestly, the least scary of our venomous snakes. for a layperson, just because you really have to be messing with one of these snakes to be bit by one. You can't, they're not like the other venomous snakes where you could not see one and step on one and it could like straight reach up and bite you on your ankle or something. I mean, you would have to be standing on this snake for a long time or completely barefoot for it to be able to actually bite you and inject venom. They have a very small head. It's a small snake. You can see, I mean, this is a pretty typically sized adult. They do get quite a bit bigger, but this is a pretty typically sized adult. And it's just difficult for snakes this small with such tiny things. They're not like vipers where they'll strike. They kind of have to be in a position where they can latch onto you and give you a nice little chew to be able to inject their venom. And look at how he's just hiding in this little tiny patch of, I mean, there's barely any leaves here, and he's managed to go completely underneath them where you can't even see him. But look at that, absolutely beautiful. You can see why these guys are so fascinating, even where they're not rare, because they are absolutely beautiful snakes. But we are going to photograph this guy, get some photos of his habitat. I'll give you a couple more looks at this type of area that he's in. You can see right there, there's a longleaf pine tree right there. So this is in that way reminiscent of their habitat in the coastal plain, that at one point this was probably a pretty heavily dominated longleaf pine forest on top of this dry ridge top. But other than that, it's like night and day from typical coral snake habitat. Not what you would expect at all. All right, guys, here's a very rare look at the snake actually sitting still. He's been running in circles for a minute now, and he's calmed down a bit, but you can see just one last time how incredible the snake is before I turn him loose. Since when we first found him, he was right in front of someone's yard. I'm gonna move him just a tad bit down the road because the guy obviously doesn't want them there, like a lot of people around here, unfortunately. When I was actually initially had found it, he came out and was like, "Oh, another coral snake, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I agreed that I'd move it down the road a little bit so he wouldn't kill it if it ever came back in his yard, obviously. So hopefully he'll stay far away from people and be able to live the rest of his life out in this awesome habitat. Anyways, since we are here to road cruise, I'm going to let this guy go, and we're going to go look for more, but that will be in another video. So this will be the last thing you see, is the release of the snake. Alrighty, saying goodbye to this incredible eastern coral snake. If he ever decides, okay, now of course he wants to sit still after I'm done photographing him. Go on, pine straw's right there, buddy. Go on. What are you doing, bro? You can't go into the tree. There he goes. Getting it figured out. Not the most graceful retreat you've ever seen, but look at that, flashing the belly and everything. Doing the fake head with the tail. God, it's so awesome. Definitely my favorite find of the year. I'm gonna let this guy go right here and just leave him alone. That will be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching.